Welcome to Subramani. This video was triggered when I was reading an American Express survey on employers talking to employees about money, which means talking a financial awareness program or personal finance programs done at the workplace. It set me thinking that nobody is interested in your financial understanding. It is not there in your school curriculum, it's not there in your college curriculum. Your parents will not talk about it at all, especially in intellectual houses where people are professors or doctors, etc. They think talking about money is below their dignity. That leaves you that all the knowledge that you are getting today is based on advertisements, some YouTube channels, including yours truly, and that's about it, in bits and pieces. And that's not too very correct, because if your parents have been insecure about money for whatever reasons, that same insecurity would have come to you in your DNA also. So not a great start. That set me thinking as to many people who meet me. Okay, this is the second part. Many people who meet me tell me, I wish I'd met you 20 years back or 25 years back. Now these are seriously senior people, right? They are CXOs, regulators, all these people, and I find it very funny because I tell them, that's great, but let's do an exercise for your 22-year-olds in your organization, maybe your children or something like that. And then the response is, yes, we must do, and then nothing happens. In the last 20 years of my life as a trainer, not more than 3-4 companies have taken the trouble to do a personal financial workshop for their employees, and it could be very basic: why invest, how to start, why to make a will. So today online facilities are available, so even if you are doing it offline in the office, some of them can participate online, right? Their wives and mothers and fathers and children can participate depending on their age, but we just don't do it. We just don't do enough for financial education of the employees, even in the BFSI. It is shocking the kind of questions that people working in the banks and mutual funds have asked me, and these are not people who look at it on a day-to-day basis. So I do not know how many mutual funds can say all our employees have to sign up for an SIP, right? I remember Franklin Templeton used to do long ago, but I do not know whether the same thing is true now. I remember Fidelity used to contribute up to 4,000 rupees to match. So if you did a 4,000 rupee SIP, they would match it with a 4,000 rupee contribution. If you did a 50,000 rupee SIP, they would still match it with a 4,000 rupee contribution. The upper ceiling was 4,000, and that was very attractive for people at the lower end earning, say, 20,000 rupees a month. For them, 4,000 is 20%. That's not a small amount, right? So I've seen Fidelity do it. I have not seen, I've seen Fidelity contributing. I do not know whether any of the other mutual funds did any introduction to personal finance for their joinees. Manufacturing companies, no, even though they all pay lip service to it. Now just imagine an employee spends at least 8 hours a day with you, which means 1/3 of his time. Another 1/3 is spent sleeping or his day-to-day activities. So should an employer spend so much time, spend at least 1 hour a month or something like that on teaching them basics of finance? Let's look at what the survey says. America's annual workplace benefits survey, Bank of America's annual workplace benefits survey, says navigating a new era of financial wellness, surveys employees and employers, and they've gathered data regarding the employee benefits and all, and everybody has said, literally everybody has said, and okay, here is a survey which says 80% of the employees were concerned about inflation, 71% feel that the cost of living is outpacing their salary. Looking for any port in the storm, workers are seeking support from the workplace. 82% say employers should play a role in supporting their financial wellness. Why am I quoting American numbers? Because we don't even do surveys, right? So I'm sure many people are watching this, many people are CXOs. They can influence, at least for their own team, if not for the whole company. One more company which did was a person called Agnel Victor. I don't know whether he's still watching. he did it for his team. That was again 2 decades back, or at least 1.5 decades back, because many of the people who are in that class have now retired. So I should say that it is really long back that people did that. But the number of people who think that their employees should learn about finance is not very high. I also think there is perhaps a small vested interest in HR not wanting you to know what is to be financially free, and not to do things like taking a car loan from the company, or taking company support for housing loan, or taking a reimbursement of interest. There is some company which reimburses the interest that you pay on buying a car or buying a house up to a particular limit. Now this sounds very odd, but it is just encouraging you to borrow. When you borrow more, you will have to repay more. So when you leave a 30 lakh rupee job, you look for a 35 lakh rupee job. You will not say, okay, let me look for a 10 lakh rupee job and do a side hustle, right? You will not find people doing that, and you don't want people to learn. So sometimes it could be a vested interest against that. Employers, to their credit, are almost universally aware of their workers' plight and their responsibility to help out. Well, not in India. 97% of employee or respondent recognize that they are in some way responsible for their employees' financial. 97% of American companies, or companies surveyed by Bank of America, accept that it is their duty to impart some kind of financial training. Of course, the training which is in US could be very different, where people would be told do not borrow and things like that. India may not need that for the 40-year-olds and the 45-year-olds, but India may also need that for the 22-year-olds. So if you are running a company with a lot of 22-year-olds, they have to be taught finance, because in their house what they have learnt about finance is a very muddled kind of a thing. So parents have not taught, school has not taught, college has not taught, office will not teach. So where are you going to learn about finance in a very properly structured manner? Does it have to be a long course? No, it can be a one day course with 2.5 hours, and then people asking questions. Right from questions like how do I start, why should I invest, is this a time to be starting an SIP, should I be writing a will, can I really create a 500 crore, 1000 crore portfolio for my children, or how much money do you honestly think I will require for retirement, right? What about medical insurance? So many questions for which you find very stupid videos, selling videos rather than teaching videos. There are not enough teaching videos. I mean, structured teaching of personal finance cannot happen only through video. Video can be an aid to it. I can trigger the questions, but you will still have to do researching the answers, right? I'm not giving you an answer simply because the answer which I give to Mr. X will be different to Mr. Y, right? So personal financial planning is about each individual, but I can trigger the questions so that you look for a financial planner or an advisor and start your financial journey. I'm not here to do your financial journey. I'm here to tell you that you have to start on your financial journey, and for which you need an advisor, or you do it yourself, perfectly all right. But at least when you're doing it yourself, you should know what are the questions to ask, what is the way to monitor what you're doing, right? All that is also important, and that also people don't know. I mean, not enough people know. Yes, many people who are watching this video would know all those questions. Many doctors watching this video may know what are those questions, but it does not mean everybody knows. Just ask around in your house, ask your immediate family, brother, sister, spouse, children, whether they know any of those things, and then the answer is no, they do not know. Right, their knowledge is restricted to watching something on commercial television full of ads which don't really teach you, right? They're not here to teach you, they're here to sell. So watching something on television where somebody is doing a program on personal financial planning is a good beginning, it's not an end, right? You still have to do it, and that doing can happen only when you have an advisor or you're motivated enough to do it yourself. Whatever it is, there are some MNCs, there are some Indian companies who think like this, but even they don't want to take initiatives. In fact, one CEO told me, Subra, there are many people in our office whom I think do not even know how to brush their teeth. That's their parents' problem, not mine. So similarly, personal financial planning, or whether it is just teaching you basics of how to start and why to make a will, things like that, I don't think your employer is keen to do it. But if your employer is keen, lucky you. But not too many people are doing it in India. Therefore, for the survey and their readings, I have to go to the US surveys rather than Indian surveys. I have not seen any Indian survey for a very long time. Thank you. Bye.